Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and I've got some NFL picks for you today. Jordy is not feeling great, so I told him just take the day off, man. I'm going to drop a couple picks solo. Takes a little bit longer. The show's a little bit different without Jordy. Obviously, we hope he feels better, and he should be good to go for our next video. But yeah, so just bear with me. Do things a little bit different on the solo videos. But I am going to still do the giveaway for our last video to the Discord. So appreciate all of you liking that last video, commenting. So we're going to give away 30 days to our Discord. I'm just going to talk briefly about the promos we're running and the partners we've got, and then we'll get into the picks here. But I mean, you can kind of see the picks I'm going with for the football slate. So let's just talk about that real quick, then we'll get into the partners. I'm going to be taking, on parlay play, I'm going with Jalen Hurts over 22 fantasy score. My favorite prop is his rushing receiving touchdowns at 0.5. That one is my favorite for Jalen Hurts, but parlay play is not giving us that one, so I'm going to go with this fantasy score over 22. This was just at 21.5. I really liked that, but I'll still take the 22 in this game, which should be, I mean, it's a good Thursday night football game. This should be a lot of fun. And then my other play is going to be, I'm going with Zach Ertz over 8 fantasy score. I like him to get this done. I'm going to break this down on all of them. In just a moment on all the platforms, but on Underdog and Prize Picks, I'm able to get the rushing receiving touchdowns for Hurts at 0.5. Love that play. And then Zach Ertz is 8 fantasy score, just like parlay play. Then Underdog, we're getting it at 7.15 because it's half point PPR instead of full point PPR. But we are getting Jalen Hurts rushing receiving touchdowns. So let's just go ahead and do the giveaway real quick. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if you guys appreciate the show, just show us a little bit of love by liking the video. I know we don't even like asking you guys to do that, honestly, because it just feels cheesy, but it really does help us so much. So if you don't mind, just click that button. It literally, they couldn't require less effort. You're just pressing a button, but it's awesome how much it helps us grow. So thank you so much for supporting us in that fashion. But let's get into the giveaway here real quick. This is a comment picker, a YouTube random comment picker. I've got the last video plugged in here. Gonna fetch it. I'm not gonna include replies because most of those replies are from us. I would bet all of them are. And then, yeah, obviously if it picks one of us, so 21 comments. So yeah, not a whole lot of people were going for it there. The NBA video, I think we had like 35 or something, but let's see who won here. There are some exceptions if it picks us or someone who we've already gifted, like, an extended access to our Discord. We want to make sure we get a new winner in here. So let's see who we got. All right, first try, we got one who I think has not been in here yet. John Seymour DC6DO. Congratulations, bro. Thank you for participating. If you want to get your 30 days in our premium Discord, just email us at bdfantasysports@gmail.com. And we just need your Discord username and we'll get you plugged in as soon as we hear from you. So once again, John Seymour, thanks a lot. And thank you all for just being a part of that, helping us get those videos bumped up. We were celebrating 12,000 subs. So yeah, we had a lot of fun there. And we thank you guys for getting us over the 12,000 mark. And we're cruising now. So we're super grateful over here. So yeah, let's talk about these plays real quick with the partners. If you guys want access to our Discord, we are running a promo with Parlay Play. So if you use code BACKDOOR when you sign up for Parlay Play right now, they're going to give you a 100% deposit match up to $100 plus a $5 promo slip. And on top of that, we've worked out a deal with them where we're getting you 30 days in our Discord on top of that. So all you have to do to take advantage of that is email us at bdfantasysports@gmail.com. and we need your Discord username and your Parlay Play username. It takes Parlay Play about 24 hours to update us with the list of all the users who've used the code. And it's super practical for us. That's why we're able to do it with Parlay Plays, because they actually show us the users who use the code, so we can actually track this efficiently and get you that 30 days in the Discord. So yeah, just email us if you want to take advantage of that, and yeah, we'll get you in as soon as we get that updated list, which they update us every single day. So they usually update us in the morning too. So we'll try to get you in as soon as possible. But yeah, obviously, if you don't use the code and make your first deposit, it's not going to activate the Discord. So just make sure that you use that code, and they have a way of tracking it, so we can be sure that the code was used. All right, so let's talk about these plays. Oh yeah, and then also Underdog. We're partnered with Underdog as well. Use code BACKDOOR with Underdog. You get up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a free pick to help you cash your first slip. And I've never been more active on all these different platforms. Like, I'm bouncing around every single day to where the value is, and I think that's the best way to go about it. You want to diversify and find the best value. So yeah, take advantage of that. We have all of our partners in the description of the video. So if you want to sign up for any of those, they're all right there for you. No way. Oh, okay. I thought that we just got Hurts for a second, but we didn't. That's Ertz. All right, let's start breaking down the plays. We'll start with Zach Ertz here. I like him to go over this fantasy score. I go for fantasy score quite a bit with NFL, particularly on the full point PPR platforms, because it's just the easiest to gauge, because we're super active with fantasy football. So it's just easier for me to gauge. I don't have to just, it's like full point PPR, you can stack up the points pretty quick. And then Zach Ertz here, he had 8 targets last week. He's been a steady part of what they've been doing. He has a lot of history with Cliff Kingsbury in Washington, and dating back to even when he was playing for my Arizona Cardinals, Cliff was constantly playing Ertz over Trey McBride, and it was frustrating during his rookie year. He just loves Ertz. And then so when he got the offensive coordinator position for Washington, he went and got Ertz again, and everyone was like, Ertz is too old and blah, blah, blah. But he just knows this system really well. So he fits right in, and he's been the tight end 1 in Washington, and he's been delivering. So yeah, 8 targets last week, only 1 against the Giants. But then if you look back against Chicago, which is a tough matchup, he had 11 targets. So he's super active. He turned that into just 4 receptions, but that's 4 points right there alone. So we're halfway there. And then if you take a look at the yards, it's a little bit of a different story. But if he can even just average like 10 yards a catch, which, is kind of asking a lot, but it's not asking too much. Let's take a look here. Actually, let me go. Is it not showing? Yeah, average yards per reception, 9.5. So he's right there, and that's over the course of. Let's go. That's the last 10. We go to 2024 here. Yeah, so it is week 10. So he's played 10 weeks. So yeah, and I know that's some spike games, but overall, my point is, if he gets into the end zone, this is cashed. And he got into the end zone. Did he get into the end zone last week? It's not like super often that he's getting in the end zone. No, so only once. And then this is a tough matchup as far as getting into the end zone. So go with your gut. I just really like this play. I think he's going to be able to get this done because he can do this on roughly 4 receptions. If he happens to go for 5, then we're good to go. If we actually take a look at some of these other categories for the matchup, again, it's tough for receiving yards, 4th in receiving yards allowed. I know it sounds like I'm making a case against this here, but I do feel comfortable with this just because he's such a solid part, and I think that they're going to have to focus on Terry McLaurin. And it's just like Cliff will figure out a way to get his guys involved. I think it's obviously one of the best looking offenses in the league. So go with your gut, but I'm not afraid of this at just 8 fantasy score. And if I'm going to be taking anything else from him, because this is kind of a tough board, to be honest, they have a lot of stuff super inflated, in my opinion. Like, I'm personally staying away from Saquon Barkley. I know that like he could end up just going nuts because he's Saquon Barkley, but we have what, like let me pull that up real quick. Let's take a look at the over under. doesn't make me log in. Yeah, it's going to make me log in, and I do not log in here. So, my apologies. I'm kind of all over the place without Jordy here. I'm pretty sure, I checked it earlier, I know it's like a 48 or a 49.5 point over under. And so this is expected to be a relatively high scoring game. And I just think that, Ertz is going to have to be somewhat of a security blanket because the Eagles are a pretty tough defense, and there's just multiple ways that Cliff can get him involved. And again, if we get like 4 receptions, we're knocking on the door of hitting that fantasy score alone. So go with your gut. If you don't like it, you can fade it. If we take a look at Daily Grind, they like his longest reception the best. I'm just not really that into those types of props unless it's very particular players, because you know, if you like that the best, that's what Daily Grind thinks, 15.5. But yeah, I'm not into it, but it is a 51.24% odds to hit the over -121. They like his fantasy score to go over, 51.12% odds to hit the over. And I think part of that is because it is the cheapest on Prize Picks and their full point PPR. So I'm feeling good about that one. And then Jalen Hurts. Let's talk about that rushing receiving touchdown real quick. This one I don't have to explain to you too much. I mean, like, the tush push is in full motion right now. Yeah, he's done this in 4 straight games, 6 out of 9 games this year. Obviously, they had a bye week already, so they've only played the 9 games. But this is an EV plus play on Outlier as well. Overall, 20th in touchdowns allowed, and then to quarterbacks 7th. But this is like not your average situation for a quarterback. Yeah, he went for 2 rushing touchdowns last week, and then against Cincinnati, he went for 3. Jacksonville, he got 1. The Giants, he got 2. I just think that he's getting into the end zone today, so that's my favorite play of his. But I'm happy to take the fantasy score if I can't get that, like on parlay play, because obviously those touchdowns count for 6. So if he happens to go for 2, that's already 12. We're halfway there. But yeah, he's gone over this 21.5 line. Let me just change this on. No, it's not letting me adjust the alt line. Yeah, I mean, go with your gut. He's really in the zone right now. I mean, obviously, he's been getting into the end zone himself a lot. So 3 straight weeks of going for almost 30 fantasy score or more. But yeah, he's cleared that 21.5 line in 5 straight games. And then let's just look at some of these other stats real quick before we get rolling. And sorry, I'm only giving you guys 2. It just takes so much longer without Jordy. So I wanted to make sure I can get you these plays before they get bumped, since it already got bumped on me. So yeah, tough matchup for passing yards, 5th in passing yards allowed, but 28th in rushing yards. And we know rushing yards for fantasy score are worth more than passing yards anyways. You get a point for every 10 rushing yards versus a point for every 25 passing yards. And then, yeah, we do have a little bit of a history here that we can look at, but it's like totally different coaching regime. He was really pass heavy last time he played them, but that, you know, it's like, this is a totally different team, so I'm not really even too concerned about the head-to-head. So yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, again, I like the rushing receiving touchdowns the best, but if I can't get that, I'll just take the fantasy score personally. I guess that pretty much covers all of that. You know, if you wanted to, if you don't like it, we could look at the rushing yards here. He has been running the ball quite a bit, and yeah, so 67 yards against Jacksonville on the 3rd, and then 56 yards against Dallas, who was starting to get the identity of a team you could just run all over, but they were a little bit better when they got Micah Parsons back. It looked like they were cleaning things up on defense a little bit, and he still went for 56 yards, but that was an absolute blowout. So the matchup for rushing yards looks pretty solid. 20th in rushing yards allowed, and then overall 28th in rushing yards allowed. But at the same time, this is, a team. The Commanders are a team who can put up a lot of points. So I don't know. Just go with your gut. I'm probably just going to take the fantasy score is what I'm leaning towards on parlay play. But my favorite is just that rushing receiving touchdown. If we take a look at daily grind for this play, obviously they love the rushing receiving touchdown the best. We're getting that on Prize Picks and Underdog. 52.25% odds to hit the over, minus 128. They like his longest rush, which I think actually looks really good too. So if you're looking for a pivot, 12.5 longest rush. I know I was just saying I don't typically take those longest props, but that looks pretty good. They don't like the fantasy score at 22 because a lot of these platforms still have it at 21.5. So yeah, you've got different pivot options if you can't get the rushing receiving TD. That longest rush of 13 actually looks pretty good to me. So we've got plenty of options here. They like his passing rushing yards to go over, the 267.5, 51.41% odds to hit the over. But I'm a little concerned about that that passing defense. On paper, we were just looking at it. It was like 7th or something like that. But they do like the rushing yards to go over as well alone. And I keep going to Ertz, my bad. The rushing yards, they like it to go over as well, the 40.5. So you have plenty of pivot options here, but the part of the reason I'm not that high, like I did not take the taco for Saquon, and I could be totally wrong about this, but I had a gut feeling about Derrick Henry in that last game, and I went against my gut, and I was like, it's a taco. It was tempting, and I put it in a slip, and he didn't end up getting that done. But my concern is I was really high on Najee Harris when he played Washington last week, and it ended up being because it made so much sense, but they were actually really stopping Najee pretty well. And I'm not trying to compare Najee to Saquon, but Najee's been in rhythm, and he's a big physical back, and it just was hard for him to find holes. And so with Saquon, this line, a lot of his lines are just so inflated. So if I took anything, I would maybe take his fantasy score just to be attached to everything. But again, we've had Ertz taking these touchdowns quite a bit lately in the end zone. Just to try to give you guys a little bit more value, I'll if I can pull up Saquon here. Here we go. So they like his receptions the most at 2, which narrative-wise makes sense to me. If the Commanders are able to put up points and they have to be passing the ball, maybe playing from behind through part of this game, 2 does seem reasonable, especially on Prize Picks where it's just going to be a put. If it does push, it'll just downgrade your slip instead of refunding the whole slip. But they've got that at a 52.24% odds to hit the over, minus 128. They like his rushing attempts over 18.5. I'm a little nervous about that one. It just seems a little high. They've got his rushing yards, so maybe I'm wrong about this, but 94.5. They've got that favored to go over 51.73%, minus 125. So I'm just being honest with you guys about my gut feeling is I'm a little nervous. I would probably rather take, let's just pull it up. I'll give you guys a little bit of extra time here. I just don't want these lines to move on you before the video gets out. Let's look at Barkley. So this is not going to be an official play for me on the video, but I just want to give you guys a little bit more detail here. So yeah, he only went for 66 rushing yards and 12 receiving yards against Dallas, but that was a blowout. We saw Kenneth Gainwell coming in quite a bit. Let's look at the matchup specifically to running backs. Okay, so I don't know, man. The statistics they're saying it's a super soft matchup for rushing yards. So anyone who took that taco, I'm obviously pulling for you. A bunch of people in our Discord took it. So I want that to hit. I'm just a little nervous about the game script. But at the same time, Philadelphia may want to slow Washington down. So they may just run the ball a lot and try to just run that clock and not give the Commanders an opportunity to put up a ton of points. But first in receiving yards allowed against running backs. So let's see. Let's see what he's done with fantasy score lately. Yeah, it looks a little grim for the fantasy score. I don't know what to tell you guys. I did not feel good about that rushing attempts, but maybe that is the narrative. Maybe it is they're going to try to slow Washington down, not let them have, a ton of possession time, and keep the clock rolling and keep running it down their throat. So 19 and a half. So is it cheaper on Prize Picks? Must be. What was it showing the rushing attempts at? 18 and a half. So you are getting quite a discount on Prize Picks for that one. Let me know. Let me know if you have questions about any of these props. I know like Saquon's a big name and he's typically reliable. I just initially was feeling a little bit nervous about his matchup, but that could be what's going on. Is maybe Philadelphia tries to control the clock, and when they've got the ball, they want to be slow about it, So yeah, I'm obviously not going to be shocked if Saquon can beat that line. It just seems a little high to me. At 94? 94 and a half, and the optimizer likes it to go over. So there you go. I mean, go with your gut. I'll go ahead and show you guys this this whole board for Daily Grind right now. If you guys want to take a peek. Yeah, they've got a lot of unders on top. They like, obviously there's that Jalen Hurts rushing receiving TD. They like the Barkley receptions. Jaden Daniels under 1 reception. They like 52% odds to hit the under. So there's just like a little peek if you guys wanted to look for a little bit more value in this game. Devontae Smith over 55 and a half receiving yards. They like that to go over. So yeah, and if you guys want to try out this optimizer for yourself, they're a partner of ours at Daily Grind. It's a really killer tool, especially in situations like this where, in my opinion, when I first looked at the board, I'm like, dang, a lot of these look inflated to me. But I'm always a little nervous taking the unders. And then also on Prize Picks, if you take the unders, they do not give you a good multiplier because more often than not for football, and this is something Matt Downs explained to us, the creator of Daily Grind, is that the majority of football props are more likely to go under than over. So Prize Picks knows that, so they give you a totally crappy multiplier. If you took all unders, you're on a 6-man, you're gonna get probably like a 5x or a 6x. I don't know for sure, but he was showing us, and I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty wild. So I think it's not as bad like Jake Elliott. I think you get a full multiplier on that. They like him to go under 1.5 field goals tonight. 53.4% odds to hit the under, minus 135. So yeah. If you guys want to check out this optimizer, it's awesome. Use code BACKDOOR and you get 25% off for as long as you make your first subscription. You can lock it into a year if you want that discount, stretched out. But yeah, just dgfantasy.com, code BACKDOOR. And then if you guys want to check out Chalkboard, it's another platform that I love. It's mobile only, but they give you so many alt lines, and they run like 6 specials a day minimum. So you're not just waiting for 1 day a week or 2 days a week to get some discounts. Like they do discounts every single day, and then plays as low as $1. So it's a lot of fun over there. And then they're the king of alt lines. So you can I think there's maybe like 5% of the props on there that you can't use alt lines for. So they are the ones who, the reason all these platforms are expanding into alt lines, I think it was Chalkboard forcing their hand, because I mean, we were loving Chalkboard because it was the only place to get all these alt lines. So if you guys want to try out Chalkboard, use code BACKDOOR, and they're going to give you a 100% deposit match, up to $100 plus a free pick to help you cash your first slip. And like I said, they're running specials every single day of the week. And on top of that, some days they run crazier specials than others. So they still change it up. Like I think their Taco Tuesday type thing is on Wednesdays, and that's when you see insane discounts. But they do they'll give you like a bunch of lines that are the normal lines, but they'll boost it. They also have crazy discount props, and then they cover a wide range, and they're usually doing like 3 to 4 per sport every single day. So there's usually a ton on there, but that's going to cover it all. What was his name? Seymour. John Seymour. Don't forget to reach out to us. Congratulations, bro. Looking forward to having you in the Discord. And last thing, if you guys do want to join the Discord, let me just hop in here real quick. It'll only take me a second. Although my computer right now is like struggling with all this extra CPU usage. Yeah, because usually Jordy's recording, and so my computer is doing a lot less. But we got in here. So yeah, as a community, we work together. We have one of the best two-man maestros in the game in here, and that is our boy Moose. He's an analyst in our Discord, and the dude is just an absolute bucket when it comes to finding the two-mans, and that's almost exclusively all he plays. But he's constantly finding two-mans for the community. So if you want to come join us, just go through, you could take advantage of the parlay play promo. You get 30 days. But if you want to just jump right in, go through Patreon, and that manages our subscriptions. So you sign up through Patreon, then you go into the settings on Patreon. There's a connected apps option in the menu bar, and you just log right in, and you can hop in the community chat, let us know you're new, and yeah, we'll get you right in. So that pretty much covers everything. If you want to follow us on any of our socials, just go to @BackdoorFantasySports when you're searching the handles, and that's on TikTok, Instagram, and X. And then me, Jordy, Moose, all of our handles are in the description too if you want to follow us. I know Moose is going light today with the small slate, but typically he's posting plays on X as well. So that's going to cover everything. Thank you so much for tuning in. Kind of fun hanging out with you guys today. Do miss Jordy, but he'll be back soon. But yeah, enjoy your small slate. This is still going to be a fun football game, though. Not going to put out an NBA video today because it's just the single slate and the single game slate, and it's just gonna. I unfortunately do not have enough time today. I've got some stuff going on actually at my church today, so I need to get over there right after I'm done with this. But thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.